Hello, I'm Andy, and I'm going to use my Kabbalistic tarot cards to talk to you about a program called Tarot Monthly Horoscope for the month of May 2019, and this is for you coming from Leo. Now, before I do that, I'm going to give you my email address, which is andyhoro9, ANDIHORO 9, the number 9 at gmail.com. The first card that I pull will be to do with your first 15 days of May, and I'm going to tackle your area of the job. And it's a card that says you attract conflict very easily. And this card says that at your place of work, either from your colleagues or from your superiors, you're going to have difficulties. The changes that you want to make are also will be having problems. So identify quickly in the first 15 days of May where these problems and conflict can come from. It's a card that produces solutions by telling yourself to stay calm, and that would be a good idea. So applying for a new job won't get you much news in the first 15 days, so try to make your present job a place to stay and a place to develop by staying very calm. Now regarding business. Oh, this is a good card. It says that new businesses are very possible and the new businesses come floating into you. The only downside is that you are expecting too much. So focus will be the key word in the first 15 days. Focus on what you really want, you coming from Leo. Because if you venture into too many areas, trouble will come in the first 15 days of May, where you either will not be able to cope in your business area, or you may find that because of something new that you have ventured in, your old business, which will take the back seat, may run into problems. So if you want a new business, you'll have to definitely look after the business you already are and make that stable as well. Now about romance. So let's see what this card says for you in romance in the first 15 days of May for you coming from Leo. It's not a good card. It says you can be made a fool of. You can be made a fool of. So if you find a new romance in the first 15 days of May, don't believe everything said to you. Look behind the scenes, remain steady, don't dive into it, and tell yourself to look definitely at the slightly negative side of this person so that you become or make yourself aware that there is a problem from a new romance approaching you in the first 15 days. Not a very good card. Now about your ongoing romance if you have one. And so let's see what this card says. It's a card of deception and deceit. Deception and deceit. It's up to you to find out why I've said that your romance partner may have some deceptive ideas which you don't know about, and therefore you are being deceived. And so find out. It can be cured, but you have to find out. It's a card that says your ongoing romance can be pushed to breaking point if you're not careful, because the differences or the news coming will be very bad. So tell yourself that your ongoing romance needs a lot of help, and you are listening to me. And so if you value that ongoing romance, you'll have to work very hard to keep it going. Now about your marriage. So let's see what this card says about your marriage in the first 15 days. Well, it says that you have many issues in your ongoing marriage. Look at all this entanglement, one issue entangled to another. So you've got to sit down. Is you listening to me? So you've got to sit down and untangle all these problems. One problem leading to another, financial problems, disagreements, interferences from people are all a hassle for you in this first 15 days of May where your marriage is concerned. And if it's the problem coming from your marriage partner, and if you want to value your marriage, then you'll have to be very much flexible and supportive. So it's a difficult card. It's not a card that says surrender and go. No. It says you can manage it if you avoid an argument or too many arguments and don't be oversensitive to what's being said. So it's a very testing card. Now let's go to the last 15 days or 16 days of May for you coming from Leo, and what the card says. Oh, it's not a good card, I'm sorry to say. So your last 16 days of May, where your job is concerned, let's talk about your job. This card is about your job. It says financial issues are a problem. Either you get a pay cut or you're not getting more money, and so financial issues are causing unhappiness in the job you are in. And this creates stress and this creates arguments. So it's a bad card. So it's a card that will not help you if you lose the job in your last 16 days, because you'll be out of money. So tell yourself to work very hard and show your bosses that you are capable of your commitments given to you, and that way you will control this card from going to the point of getting bad news of losing the job. If you try to apply for new jobs in the last 16 days, you're not going to get much news, because the planets of news are always around bad news in the last 16 days. Now about your business, last 16 days, let's see what happens. Well, it says if you're chasing for money, it's very far away. So don't go looking for new businesses to invest in, because that money is too far away, you will not find it. Either if you venture into and invest, the money for returns is very far away. So why bother in the last 15 or 16 days to venture into new business? Even in your ongoing business, there's so much stress already seen. It's a card of entanglement. So everywhere it's entangled, your finances are entangled. So sit down and try to be calm, and step by step find out how you can get untangled from this mess that you are in business, and you may find some solutions in the last 15 or 16 days. But to go for new ventures, I would say don't think of it. Now about romance, let's pull a card for your new romance and see what the card says. Well, it's a card of strength, which is good. So it says you may find a new romance, but the strength may be that the partner you find as a new romance in the last 16 days is the partner too strong for you, too dominating for you, too much looking for control. So look at that possibility of getting you unhappy in the last 15 days of May, last 15 days of May. And then tell yourself that you need to be toning the dependency or wanting the new romance. So slow down the new romance that comes to you in the last 15 days and study it carefully. I'm not going to say that it will break up, but I'm going to say that you're going to be dominated. Now let's pull a card about your ongoing romance that you may already have right now. And let's see what the card says. And it's exactly the same card that you had pulled earlier for you. Of course, that was another topic. It's a card of entanglement, producing plenty of arguments in your ongoing romance. It's got to do with finances as well, or differences of opinions, or differences of how to get things done. So if you value this ongoing romance, back off. It's only 16 days, the last 16 days of May. Back off, stay calm, let the days pass, let your ongoing romance partner take the lead, and you will see everything will tone down. That's the way to do it. Now I'm going to talk to you about marriage. And let's see what this card says about your marriage. It's a very good card. So there's no danger of your marriage ever going to the point of breaking down. But there is a problem of give and take. You can see that one cup is being filled and the other cup is spilling over. So there is got to be a lot of give and take in your marriage in the last 15 days. That's all. Be supportive, be appreciative. It's you who is listening to me. And if you value your marriage, just back off from any sensitive issues. Don't bring them up in the last 15 days of May. Try to be calm. Try to show that you are forever going to be a person who can be depended on. And you will slowly ride this last 15 or 16 days of May. Very easy, not a big issue. You'll be able to do that. You're coming from Leo. Well, now I'm going to talk to you about your lucky ages. There'll be some people of these ages I'm going to mention. Let me pull the card first. And for you coming from Leo, and they are going to be very lucky people. And look what a marvelous card this is. The angel is giving you luck in every area, more or less. And so for you coming from Leo, if you happen to be the ages of 19 or 28 or 37 or 46 or 55 or 64 or 73, you're going to be one very lucky person in this last 15 days of May. So go all out, focus on what you want. You can't ever get everything under the sun. Focus on which area you want to improve, and you'll do that magnificently in the last 16 days. So there's every opportunity for you to get that done. You'll be overcoming the problems which I've mentioned earlier. And so, how do you... How do I put this off? I'm sorry. So now for you coming from Leo, these lucky ages which I've just mentioned. Now what if you are not of these ages? Then you'll have to be very cautious, and you'll need to see me for a 90-minute session, which will cost you USD 50 to know your next 7, 8 or 9 years. But let's talk about that a bit later. Now I'm going to give you your lucky dates, DATES, in the month of May. And it's an extremely good card. Shows that the domination of the sun position is very strong, right on the top. It suits Leo beautifully. And so the 1st, the 10th, the 19th and the 28th in May are going to be especially very, very lucky days and nights for you. So plan whatever you want on these 1st, 10th, 19th or 28th. And you will see you do that very, very well, and produce plenty of good luck in whatever area you want the good luck for. So there you are. Now about your lucky colors. So let's see what this card says about your lucky colors. Why colors? Because when we wear a certain color, we open a channel of energy to a certain planet that controls that color. And for you, the dominating color here is yellow. So I'm going to say wear plenty of yellow in the month of May, and I'm going to introduce a color called orange to you as well. Wear either yellow or orange alternatively, and you will see that your connection to some of your best planets will bring you a magnificent and happy and a month of May that's going to provide the solutions that you want. So that's going to help you a lot. Now about your lucky directions. Let's see what this card says for you coming from Leo. Why directions? Because 9 planets surround Earth, and when we look north, south, east or west, we are going to face a certain planet or another. And for you, I would say that try to face north as much as you can. Try to face north as much as you can in the month of May, because facing north will provide for you opportunities in any area of your life. And especially if you're making changes in some area of life in the month of May, try to get the inspiration from north. You'll be getting the inspiration beautifully. Well, to talk to you about a 90-minute session, and in that 90 minutes, which will cost you USD 50, I will be able to tackle your next 7, 8 or 9 years. And I'll give you a lot of information, how to get every area of your life as well as possible. And based on your date of birth and time of birth and looking at your palms, I'll be able to help you know your personal lucky lottery numbers, your lucky days, your lucky gemstones, your lucky colors, your lucky directions. And so you'll be as steady as ever in this next 7 or 8 or 9 years. So send me an email at andyhoro9, ANDIHORO9, the number 9 @gmail.com, and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. Until then, thank you and good luck.